and welcome to Viking Age Music. Today I'm going to talk about an instrument that is actually not Viking. And then you ask me, why do I show you an instrument that is not Viking? Well, first of all, I like all instruments that are old, and this one has a very interesting story. Actually, a 5,000-year-old story, if you think about it. Well, this one you see here is shaped and made like a Appalachian mountain dulcimer, mainly used in America and Germany. This instrument is very much used in the United States, in the southern parts, and then Germany. In Germany, especially for medieval fairs and festivals, and it has a very medieval sound to it. Now, would I use an instrument like this on a Viking reenactment? No, I would not sit and play this or one of the others in front of an audience and try to give them a story of Viking Age instruments. But in the evening, when it's closed and there's no visitors, you can take it and sit and play and make some music with it. I also, in some of my videos or my songs I made, I also use this instrument or one similar to it. You can also go in and look my music videos up, and then in the description you can see if I have using this instrument, or you can easily hear it. Now, this one I bought some years ago. I was just so fascinated with the sound and everything, and then I thought to myself, can I make one myself? And of course you can. Actually, you can buy kits that are made of cardboard, and they would work fine. But a bit more of the history. Well, it can be traced back roughly 5,000 years to Greece. And I have to look the word up. There it's called a falsterion or something like that. I probably butchered the name. But there it was some kind of wooden box with one string, and you can play it, and well, maybe not very interesting, but of course it evolves, and then you get more strings to it, and suddenly it's another instrument. Funny enough, this instrument or its ancestor is in Germany called a shitholz, and shitholz actually means a piece of burning wood you toss on the fire. Quite funny name. And in Norway, you would call it a Langeleik. In Sweden, a Hummel. And in Denmark, we really don't have a word for it because it's not. Some people say it has been used in Denmark also, but it's not a thing in Denmark really. But in Scandinavia and Germany and United States is a big thing still. And of course, when the Germans and the Swedes and Norwegians and so on, and also from the British Isles, they also know it, were settling to America, they brought the instrument with them, and from there the culture about that kind of music, the mountain dulcimer, evolved out of all those kind of instruments. If you take Norway, Sweden, Germany, they look similar. You have a wooden box with some strings on, and then the shape can differ a bit, but it's practically the same. And some dulcimers actually have, well, the tuning. You typically tune it in DAD. So we have drone strings. And excuse me. And then this one we have two D strings, an A string and a D string. So we have two D strings. The melody strings. And you can see it's mostly, it looks like a guitar with in a way. And you just take, some use a piece of wood. I don't like that. I use my fingers. And then you just press down by the frets. can hear it rings really nice out. Now, let's go to one I made myself. It's a very crude one, but it works. I have, of course, plans to make another one, a more high quality one. This one is very thick wood and yeah, it has a sound box, but it rings not out so nice as the modern one. But I can. Now I have figured out how to make it very thin and make it very singable. You can see I tried to make it look more medieval, but still I have iron frets and I have iron or steel frets and steel strings and modern tuners. Well, in the medieval times, they would use wooden frets and, of course, gut strings, because steel strings are actually not a thing before about the 1800s. Steel strings really was a thing. So this is a hybrid, a mix of many things, but it works. Now I'll play the same thing as on the other one, and you can hear the difference. Or if you think this one only had 3 strings, and the traditional mountain dulcimer also only have 3 strings, but the more modern version have 2 D strings for the tone strings. It also rings very nice, actually, not as long as the modern one. But if I would make this in more thin wood, then it would ring more and have a more warm sound. You can hear it's more metal. Yeah, so actually you can make one very easily yourself, actually. Now, to the next one. That's also one of my homemade projects. I have tried to make it look more Viking age, with a nice snake, serpent, and in runes I've written, Jens made me snake singer. Yeah, cool. But the shape of it, I tried to steal something from the shitholz. It's an instrument with a neck and everything. It's also medieval. And of course I made a snake headstock. Now on this one I used gut strings or Nile gut, modern plastic Nile gut. And of course gut frets, because modern Nile gut could easily take steel frets, but in the medieval and in the Viking and so on, they were using gut frets, because if you're using metal or wood on gut, it would wear the strings out in no time, and then you can change that all the time. Also, the frets would be easily worn out. So if you see a very, very expensive lute, they would normally have gut frets and gut strings. So I borrowed some ideas from more places, and I found out actually you can get something that looks very similar to this, and it's a company called Merlin. They make an instrument called the Seagull, and it looks very similar, and it's actually what we would call a stick dulcimer. Very interesting. So let's have a go, and you can clearly now hear the difference between steel and gut. Yeah, and I actually really enjoy playing this because, well, I also like guitars and so on, and it's yeah. So you can also make this yourself. Um, it's not so difficult, and you have immense of pleasure and joy playing your own homemade instruments if you have the place to do it, and some basic tools. Actually, basic tools makes a big difference. Now I want to show you something, or you can hear, because I told you that it has a very medieval sound to it. You can really beef that sound up a lot, and I'll show you how. Just a moment. I make a cut now. Cut. So we're back again, and now I have put a capo on it. And by putting a capo on the first fret, you will get a more medieval sound out of it. Let's try and listen for that one. For a quick dance song, but this really, I think this sound I will try to do a little more, and then I will take the capo off quick, then you can really hear the difference, okay? Well, I can feel it's a while since I played it, so excuse me for the hiccups. Well, I won't bother you more with my playing, but I hope you got the idea of different types of dulcimer instruments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and maybe make a subscription. That would make me very happy. Let's see if I can nail this one. You should know this one, maybe.